a thing that could be known. I was a thing that could be known, but only without love. But only without love was I a thing that could be known. Was I a thing that could be known? Before they unmake what I was, before they unmake what I was, I was made for this.
In this triangle of stars there will be pain and breathing. If there's fear in your heart, that's the first sign that you're not leaving. I'll sing out my defiance as I rend the cage of my spine. Set my feet upon a path that no map could define. I'll be faster than lightning, deadly as a kiss. When I chase you down, I will know a hunter's bliss. I will flutter over water with my wings at last unfurled. Someday I'll be big enough to hold the world.
When I come back, there will be blood, and I will know the secret shapes of the elder constellations in the colors I've never seen. In the colors I've never seen will be the elder constellations that will reveal the secret shapes, and when I come back, there will be blood.
In this triangle of stars, a compass transcends the four directions. For a politics of fortune far much older than elections. Your ideals of hearth and home sweep before our revolution. As we finally become your problem with no solution, I'll be faster than lightning, deadly as a kiss. Your flesh will know the teeming of my metamorphosis. I will glitter over water with my flag of silver. Someday I'll be big enough to hold the world.
I'll take everything I can and be more than you can bear, as the songs will grind you down for a burden made to kill. From this burden made to kill, as the songs will grind you down and be more than you can bear, I'll take everything I can.
In this triangle of stars, I dream of beating those who shame me, while a walk with wind and salt begins the long work to attain me. With a dragon in my blood, ink to guide my pen, the ghosts of a burning future will smile on me again. I'll be faster than lightning, deadly as a kiss. I'll take you on the wing with 7 jaws that never miss. I will glitter over water, a gleam of sapphire and pearl. Someday I'll be big enough to hold the world.
Okay, we have successfully completed steps 1 and 2 of the process. I'm out of the water, I have learned to breathe, and sitting here IRL in my real actual chair at my actual desk, not pretending to be Dragonfly for a second, I genuinely feel like I just climbed a fucking mountain before learning to breathe. I am so nervous. Welcome to the stream, welcome to the Fishbone, thank you for following the Arman, thank you for coming everybody. I am so nervous. I am. That's about right. That's about the right vibe.
Always a way to.
So I thought before I actually get into debut stuff, give a couple more minutes for people to file in and get used to the stream, and also for me to catch my breath and give a quick warning about what is about to happen. I've got a video coming up. It talks about death a bunch. Hey, welcome to Fishbone last time. Thank you for joining us. If philosophical discussion of death is going to be uncomfortable for you, it's a 3-minute video. I will not be talking too much about it after that. Hey, Manji, thanks for coming. Thanks everyone for the birthday wishes as well. And it's Dragonfly week as well, is the other thing. I forgot to mention that. It's Dragonfly week, officially. It's a good time for it. It's like my birthday, it's Dragonfly week, beautiful summer day. Didn't get to go outside because I literally finished prep for this an hour ago. Obviously, other content warning for the stream contains bugs. I am here. There are going to be bugs. Thank you, June. Good to see you. Are we ready to go? Shall we transform? Thank you again, everyone, for being here. I'm going to make a start. That was the wrong scene. There had to be something that didn't quite go right. Okay, right scene this time.
I come to you as a speaker for life. What is life? Food. Life is eating and being eaten. Life is a set of glorified chemical reactions. Life is digestion. Life is decay. Life is rot. Life is death. To understand this is to love yourself, for it is to love life and the world and nature. Nature in its entirety, not just in pretty photographs. To understand that life is death is to love the mulch of fallen leaves as much as new growth on the branch, the fungus as much as the flower, the maggot as much as the butterfly. Rejoice, one day you will be food. Wonders will grow from you, just as you are a wonder grown from others. I come to you as an insect because insects contain, in your fears of us, all those contradictions. We are symbols of decay and dirt and famine, except when you find us beautiful. We are too delicate to bear your touch, and yet you dread our forms. You wage war on us, even as the ecosystem that sustains you is the transient coating of snow atop the mountain, for which we are the upthrust bedrock. A dragonfly is all of this. You think me beautiful, but the harmless flies you despise and fear are my prey, and I am nature's most lethally efficient hunter. My beauty is evanescent,
fleeting, a brief coda to a muddy and protracted aquatic childhood. My metamorphosis is the stuff of nightmares, dragging myself onto land before even learning to breathe, tearing out through the spine of my own exoskeleton, crouching exposed before a merciless sky until my wings finally harden enough for flight. Then I am everything. Deadly, glittering, faster than sight. The secrets of my agility elude even your finest aviation engineers. I am a dream of what you so limitedly understand as evolution, my body plan unchanged since the first lizards crawled onto land and began learning to be dinosaurs. In an earlier age, my ancestors were giants, with wingspans the length of a human arm. For now, I content myself with this more compact form. But the lesson of life is that the smallest part contains every wonder of the whole. Someday, I will not be so small.
Right. Time for the big reveal. Can you see me? Is that visible? What about now? Who wants some leggies? Posting feet. The problem with this model is I can't really do like the typical like come in from one direction, like start with the feet thing or whatever. Honk. Because it's actually kind of a small model. There we go. Hi, Ghoulie. You ready? Am I ready? Hi. I'm scary. I'm a little scared. I'm not ready. I'm not ready at all, Lex. I'm not ready at all. There we go. It's me! I'm a dragonfly! I'm a real dragonfly! Finally! It's been 2 years! It's like a little over 2 years since I started using this model, and here we go. I'm a dragonfly. I can fly! I can fly everywhere! I can even, like, finally use the... There's a thing that VTube Studio does, right, that I hate on almost every model, which is where it will automatically kind of scale from moving backwards and forwards. And normally it looks weird. It doesn't look like... You know, if it's supposed to be someone sitting in a chair, it doesn't look like people moving how they sit in chairs, but it's perfect for dragonflies. So yeah, this is me. Do you want to see some toggles? I have toggles. I'm not going to insult Diogenes. Diogenes fucking rules. Diogenes is the greatest philosopher of all time. Diogenes is the only Greek worth celebrating. I love Diogenes. Diogenes is kind of an anti-philosopher. I'm sure you'll learn to fly eventually, am I? I would love to be... Like, Diogenes' goals. If I have to be a philosopher, I would love to be Diogenes. Anyway, I've got some familiar toggles. I got the Angie toggle, which, like, I always forget to use when I'm angry because I'm too tilted. I've got the sweat drop toggle, which occasionally gets used. What else have we got? I think they're in this order. No, that was the one I was saving for last. I've got googly eyes. This was just a moment of inspiration, and like after the design was done, I figured out I could do it. I've got, instead of brain there's lesbians, except now it's instead of eyes there are lesbians because I don't really have a brain anymore. And finally, I've got like how I was feeling 15 minutes ago, getting ready for the stream. That combines pretty well with that one, I feel. So yeah, that's a toolkit. Also, yeah, there are new emotes. New emotes should be available now for subscribers. Like I completely overhauled the emotes. And I have some slides. Where did I put the slides? Where have they gone? There we are. Let's have the slides, because I've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. First off, actually, I should put myself out of the way. I want to celebrate this amazing ref sheet that Enid did for me. Which, like, I was really struggling with how I was going to design my model. And so Enid, who has drawn a lot of dragonflies in her life, I commissioned her to just be like, it wasn't really like draw me a ref sheet for me, it was show me how you would draw a dragonfly so I can get some ideas. And she knocked it out the park. This has been such a useful resource. In particular, she's the one who figured out how to do eyes so that they work. Magus, I'm gonna hunt you down and bite several unpleasant and painful parts of your anatomy. I dislike jars. I dislike jars so much they haven't even made it onto my dislikes slide. We'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, so Enid was the one who figured out like dragonfly eye shapes, because actual dragonfly eyes are kind of like a soup bowl shape at the back of the head. And at one point I was literally taking photos of a soup bowl from various angles, stuck with bits of tape for marking proportions, and trying to draw those. And it really, like, that didn't work. I have sketches, they look bad. And then I looked at this ref sheet again. It's like basically what Enid did was find a way to put kind of Disney character or Sonic character, or actually it's very like the Koopas from Mario eyes on a dragonfly head, and that saved my life. Like, that's why my eyes look like this. That's why it was possible to do googly eyes. Also the legs were it was a real help to have that for the legs. Also, those are the new emotes, including the British debuff, which was originally Carly's idea. That version is by Lexi, who, like, I was stressing out about it on... Enjoy the feet, Ghoulie. Someday I will put them on your face. Affectionate. This came out of the FF16 streams, where I couldn't help but, like, adopt the dialogue mannerisms of the characters. I'll put my feet on your face as well, Momo. Don't worry. That's already in the to-do list. Yeah, the British debuff, Lexi found a design that kind of worked. The rest are all me, but I had a lot of help kind of thinking through them and designing them from the lovely girlfriends, Lexi Escalier and Mordodoria. Hi, Odai. Thanks for coming by. Momo, I have a collection of screen caps assembled over a lengthy period of time to remind you of what I'm talking about. If you really want me to share them, but I won't do that on stream. That would be a little bit cruel. Hit me up on Discord if you want those. No, I don't mean that. So yeah, big shout out to Enid, because. Also, there's the clip from the wedding day. That was also really funny. Big shout out to Enid. This would not have happened without her. Thank you, Firefly. Thank you for coming. It's great to see you. Yes, I recognise you by your name. Friend Daz, who has actually met me in real life and can confirm that I am, in fact, a 3-inch long dragonfly. And also possibly a god of nature. Momo, I must always remind you every time, it is one of the greatest delights of my life. Let's talk about some stuff. So, my name is Eat. I'm a speaker for life, and life is eating, and therefore my name is Eat. My age is 2 years old, which is already kind of old for a dragonfly. We're kind of 1 year kind of critters. But also, since nothing ever truly dies, as previously established, I am technically infinity old, or at least 4.5 billion years. Maggie, don't give the game away. And I'm 3 inches-ish. Anyway, like, just some classic VTuber stuff. I have tags, live ponding for streaming, because it's like live streaming, except that I live by a pond rather than stream, so it has to be a live ponding. I took a punt on an art tag, Art the Pen, which is a nice, easy one. And I was going to do a joke where I scribbled out the lewd tag and I forgot to scribble it out. Anyway, my wings are kind of covering it. Hopefully that makes it vaguely censored. But yeah, I'm now an adult, therefore you can lewd me. I want to see, that's a challenge for any ambitious lewd artists. Lewd a dragonfly. And also, if you want to like have emoji to represent me, it's a dragonfly It's a haha funny joke. There isn't a dragonfly emoji. Which, boo. There's lots of other insects, there's no dragonflies. Also, I'm glad somebody has been enjoying that, because I've been using that joke and nobody's commented on it since I came up with it. Thank you, Manji. That's the basics. Let me tell you about dragonflies, because dragonflies are fucking cool. So, dragonflies are ancient. Well, new challenge for you, Daz. Dragonflies have been around longer than almost all vertebrates on land. You go back a third of a billion years and find things that look very like dragonflies flying around. Like, kind of like sharks. You can go back almost half a billion years to find a thing that looks like a shark doing shark things. Like, nature got a head start on fish and bugs and found designs that worked and stuck with them. Like, the idea of a pinnacle of evolution doesn't really make any sense. But if there was to be a pinnacle of evolution for flying insects, it would be dragonflies. Other cool things about dragonflies. I can see almost 360 degrees around me in all directions. I spent ages trying to find a good, cool-sounding way to say that I see the world at 200 frames a second, which is also like not really the right concept, because frames per second is about display of images, not perception of images. But whatever. It, like, humans, 24 frames a second is enough to make motion look smooth for you. For a dragonfly, it has to be 200 frames a second because we're just built different. With the most successful, like, I haven't 100% satisfied myself that I could give you citations on this. I have seen papers that make, like, actual academic research papers that make this claim. I don't know if there are other papers making different claims, but dragonflies catch 95% of our prey, of the prey we actually chase, which puts us far and away the most successful hunters in nature. Most species don't get above 50%, even the best kind of other competitors are like 85%. A real, like, big margin where dragonflies are just the best at hunting. Obviously, metamorphosis is a big thing with dragonflies. Metamorphosis is a big thing with me because I'm trans. I do not strike out, it's true. Part of this is that I only hunt prey that I think I can catch. Like, that's an important part of being a successful predator. Don't hunt things you can't catch. Obviously, dragonflies undergo a particularly wild form of metamorphosis. Like, butterflies are cool and all with the turning to soup. That's great. Great game, Butterfly Soup, about, like, using butterflies as a metaphor for being queer and stuff. Dragonfly metamorphosis is metal as fuck. Like, nothing I put in the lore video is false. Crawl out of the water, climb up the side of whatever pond you're living in, then learn to breathe, and then, like, shred your own exoskeleton, chance your luck with predators and people stepping on you and stuff, and then you get to be the best predator in nature. It's great. Because the West is kind of terrible, we associate dragonflies with evil. There's a lot of associations, apparently, with dragonflies and snakes. So maybe I should befriend some snake VTubers. They might be cool. Most of my friends are, like, zombie VTubers, undead VTubers, necromancer VTubers. Not quite sure how that happened. Hey, Logical, thanks for coming by. In Japan, by the way, very different image of dragonflies. Dragonflies got a big traditional role in Japanese art associated with autumn, because that's when we die. Thanks, Japan, and obviously change, which is a big theme of this whole production. It is indeed you, Gully, among others. Hydration check. I might have crawled out of the water, but I still need to, like, consume it. Snake people are cool people. I like snakes. I'm nervous. I'm always nervous about handling snakes because I have very sensitive shoulders, and constrictor snakes tend to try to climb onto your shoulders, and it makes me twitch. And I'm always worried I'm going to throw them across the room or something. What's next? Some things I like. So, do I befriend people by eating them? Maybe. That could be fun. I really like watching people be good at things. I'm not a big fan of watching people be bad at things. Like, so bad it's good stuff doesn't really do much for me. I really like watching people be good at things, and this is why I like watching sports. I realize this makes me a failure as a nerd, but like, big comfort activity for me is watching some of the worst sports in the world, actually, like the NFL and Formula One are terrible, terrible sports full of terrible people who have too much money and are terrible to one another, but I love watching them. And I really enjoy the way that sports create stories and that sports kind of commentators tell stories. Also really like skateboarding. Skateboarding is a cool sport that doesn't have most of the problems of the NFL and Formula One. And I did try to learn to skateboard, as Daz can attest, and it didn't go very well. Mostly because it's difficult to get me outdoors. Ironically, given all my shit about loving nature and representing nature, I just don't have the time, and I particularly don't have the time when other people do. Other forms of people being good at stuff I like are live music and concert films. I almost like half the music I listen to is actually like watching live performances on YouTube. There's something about watching it live that makes a big difference. I mean, honestly, it should be easier to skateboard with insect legs because you've got more of them to work with. Also optimized for flight, so lighter. And then VTubers. I really like watching VTubers be good at things. I know that there's a big association between VTubers and being bad at things. There's a big stereotype that streamers are bad at things. It's fun to watch streamers be bad at things. It's actually really hard to be bad at something entertainingly. I think it's one of my biggest weaknesses as a VTuber is that when I'm bad at something, it's not entertaining. But I love watching VTubers who can be bad at something entertainingly. I also like making things. Or, you know, I can't help making things, so I better like it. I make music. I make stories, fiction, various kinds. I make live TV, like this one, for example. I make video. I really enjoy video editing. I don't think I'd like it enough to do it professionally or anything, but I've made 3 separate distinct videos this week. And even though it's very stressful, it was fun. For things I dislike, I don't like philosophy. I spent my entire adult life learning to be a philosopher and like professionally in philosophy, and it sucks. Philosophers are awful people, and I don't want to spend any more time around them, basically. Unfortunately, I can't get away from myself. And I don't like doors. I am one of those people who like stands in doorways rather than walking through them. And if you read my stories, I have a writing tick where my characters can never just walk through a door. It's always a massive... If my characters have to open a door, it will take hundreds, if not thousands, of words. Sorry about that. Sometimes it's a big dramatic point. Like, the longest thing I ever wrote had, like, dangerous thresholds as a core thematic kind of image. So there were a lot of characters, like, standing in front of doors going, I'm worried about opening this. A big thematic thing. But in fact, unfortunately, that infects all my other writing as well. So, what's next? Oh yeah, I also like these two. This is Momo and Lexi, my girlfriends, who are fucking awesome, and you should check them out as well. They are often on my streams. I am often on their streams. Well, not often on Momo's streams because she doesn't stream, but we're trying to change that. We will find ways. 2 weeks ago, I got a clip of her explaining what it would take to get her streaming again, and we're going to do that. Like, it is kind of how I am wired that I almost forgot. This is terrible, and I'm real sorry about it. But I did almost forget to put them in, except for on the credits side. This is the thing. I know how to like work with people. I don't really know how to like be friends with people. I'm bad at being friends with people. I'm sorry. Momo's cat is excellent. Momo's cat comes on voice call when we're on voice call and yells at us. It's great. I love Misadventure. I hope I get to meet her at some point. I would love to be yelled at in person. I'm not a big cat person. Personally, cats make me nervous. I'm always worried I'm going to break them. because they seem so small. But I want to meet Miss Adventure and hear her yelling. Ain't it just logical? Ain't it just? Obligatory media wall, like media stuff that, like, I tried to pick stuff that would tell you something about me, but I don't want to go through the list. Not least because I like, with how I can see my slides, I can't actually read the text. It's too small and kind of markery. I finally found a marker font that I really like. It's called Winkle, by the way, if you want to find it. It's a free font. Some authors that I like. I was going through my Lexi, she's gonna bite you. She's gonna bite you. I can't wait to see that either. I was going through and thinking about the list of authors that like shaped me as a writer, and most of them I wouldn't recommend anymore. But those are three that I would stand by. Some vaguely representative anime and manga stuff. I had to divide music into the music I actually listened to and the music that influenced me, and there's almost no overlap these days. Like, there's music I listen to like refine my idea of the kind of music I want to make, but actually most of the music I listen to, I don't want to listen to music with lyrics in English, because then I can't concentrate on whatever I'm working on. So that's a lot of cool Japanese bands that you should check out, and maybe at some point I'll do a stream talking about them. I don't know. That's the obligatory media wall. Extremely yay Tamsin Muir. I'm a relatively recent convert, but I am looking forward to the final book, which must be starting to be available for pre-orders pretty soon, I think. Also Jenny Wirtz, actually. Her final book of her big epic series comes up for pre-order in September for release next year, which, suck it, George R.R. Martin, the actual best fantasy writer of the 90s, is going to beat him in every respect. Longer series, finished sooner, it's better, doesn't have a sucky TV show. Fuck Game of Thrones. I could do a stream on that. Some games that I play. Obviously, I like big, long, epic stories, Final Fantasy games and stuff. That's probably my top 5 of those. There are 6 games there, don't pay attention, it's the top 5. I like Final Fantasy VII. I think Final Fantasy VII is a great game. I don't like it as much as any of those games that I've listed there. Play a lot of builder games. I've got a bunch of builder games sat in my cart on Steam from the Steam sale at the moment that I have been not buying until this stream is done and finished. Maybe I'll do that stream then, Manji. Like, I could give a full historical lecture on why you should read Jenny Wirtz and Robin Hobb instead of George R.R. Martin. I also like games about going fast. Like, I hardly ever stream racing games, but I really like racing and driving games. I like things going fast. I like the feeling of going fast. When I put Nier on there, I mean 2010 original Xbox 360 Nier. Yeah, I like Automata and I like Replicant, but the original is the one for me. And yes, I love Wipeout. I live in the city. Actually, it's not the city where Wipeout originated, but like they made a bunch of Wipeout games here, and always had a strong love for that game, for that series. And I wish they'd make another one, or like port because they on PS4 there's the Omega Collection, which is great, and I wish they'd actually just like update that for PS5. Although maybe it's playable back compatibility. Tales of Vesperia fucking rules. FF13 fucking rules. Cool stuff is just like experimental alt art gamey kind of things. And probably those are the games that have meant the most to me in my life. Like, I profoundly over-identify with a Heaven Will Be Mine character, as anybody who remembers what I was like when I initially played that game can attest. Butterfly Soup is great. Like I said, game about being gay and metamorphosis and stuff. Some of those are quite obscure. Things that aren't real is a very, very obscure game, but you can find it on itch. And I recommend you do, because it's very short and probably the most reliable way a video game can make me cry. And And here are some plans for things I'm going to stream. So, when FF16 came out a couple of weeks ago, Lexi and I streamed the whole fucking thing in like 5 days flat. It was wild. And I really enjoyed the experience. I remembered that I really like doing like intense streams. So I'm going to try to arrange my streaming so that I'm doing less kind of one a week piecemeal narrative games. And when a big narrative game comes out, I'm just going to fucking go ham on it. I'm going to play more builder games because builder games serialize more easily. I want to do more creative streams. I tried a thing on Tuesday that I have never tried before, which was writing music on stream. Oh my god, there is. Thank you for pointing that out, Lexi. That is a mistake. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I want to do more creative streams. I want to do writing streams. I want to do more music writing streams because I think it went really well, even though hardly anybody came because it was Tuesday afternoon. And then some other streams. So, at the start of the year, I set a bunch of goals for myself, and goal 1 is goal 1 was like 3 covers this year, and I've released 2 so far. I covered Blue Sugar by Renzato and Chichin Pui Pui with friend Carly Smallbird, which is by Mashima Euro, I think is the producer's name. It's a Vocaloid song. I think I know what the third cover is going to be. Aiming for that towards the end of the year. Bigger thing. This was the one thing that I didn't manage to have ready for debut. Like I started trying to draw this an hour ago and didn't get it done. But the cover for my next EP of original music, which I will be starting recording on next week or the week after, depending exactly when I finish rehearsing and when I recover from today. But I am going to have a 5-track EP of original music, hopefully out by the end of the summer. It's called Rechilding. 1 completely new song, 3 songs that are like rocked up full band versions of songs I originally released acoustically. How am I so creative? I'm on strike from my job at the moment, so most of my professional obligations don't exist. If that changes, that might be a problem. I also finally have new original fiction coming. If you follow me over on Co-Host, which I don't have a link to handy, but I'm on Co-Host. You can follow me on Co-Host. I write a bunch of short stories there about mostly about mech pilots, and one of those has exploded into like I'm writing a whole thing. Thank you, Lexi. That's the URL. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what form the new project is going to take. My hope is that I can do it on a kind of web novel basis. So, like, I'm not on full strike. No, I'm on marking and assessment boycott. But, like, basically all my professional commitments at this time of year are marking and assessment. So I haven't got anything to do except occasional, like, meetings with dissertation tutees and writing references for students and stuff. Which means lots of time to work on this shit. And one final announcement, and this one I have a little video for. Wait, I'm gonna have a slight problem. Pretend you don't see anything for about 3 seconds. So yeah, music video for my single I Was Made For This that came out in May is in the works. Going to be ready soon, TM. Not sure exactly when, because I've got to make it. But I have an absolutely amazing piece of art, which you can see briefly there, by my friend and Mario Kart nemesis, Tubular Paru, who has absolutely knocked it out of the park. Like, I gave him a brief back in February, I think. I was like, I want you to draw this in this style that you do, but I can't really describe what I'm looking for. I'm just going to have to trust your kind of instincts and your skills as an artist. And my God, stratospherically exceeded my expectations. I am in awe of the resulting piece of artwork. It is amazing. I'm having a lot of fun playing with it to set it up for the video, and I cannot wait to have the finished thing and share it with you. Originally I was hoping to have it ready for today, just there was not time. Yeah, that'll be on YouTube, and I will be screaming about it on every social, almost as much as I screamed about this stream. Hey Bird, thanks for coming. Drive safe. Yeah, that's all my slides. So I can, where the hell have they gone? There. Okay, I got through it all. There was only 2 tiny bits of scuff. I really did actually make it work. Thank you everyone for being here. I owe my 5-minute philosophy of jars before I do the Stanford Encyclopedia drive-by, which I will do in just a second, I promise, Lex. But first, 5-minute philosophy of jars. So, where do I want to start with this? So the reason that people bring up thank you, Momo. The reason people bring up jars around me is because people keep threatening to put me in jars. People put insects in jars a lot to like study us. And if you put me in a jar, you will do me quite a lot of harm, because I am not meant to be contained. And while I am extremely strong and powerful, I probably can't claw my way out through a jar. Please don't put insects in jars. Especially don't put VTubers in jars. That's a whole other joke which I can't talk about on Twitch because it's extremely not TOS. It's what part of the internet thinks, Lex. The wholesome part. The part that I can talk about on Twitch. Jars, nevertheless, very important, not just as like practical containers, but also the historical record. A lot of our like information about how different cultures functioned in like kind of pre-written history comes from how they store stuff, because that's actually a really important kind of function of civilizations. Is like, can you preserve stuff for later consumption? If you can't do that, then you can't have surpluses that allow you to do other things like invent the wheel and fire and building things. Really, Momo? Is that the level we've regressed to? Okay. Right. Last thing before we move on. Let me get the thing to where people can see it. So, let us pick a random entry. Are we going to get something good? Intertheory relations in physics. Right, so... I'm going on about jars because I had a redeem about jars, bitch. Amai decided to sabotage me. So, physical theories are supposed to describe the world. And the theories of physics are supposed to be especially good. Thank you for the chaos currently breaking out in my chat. It's not really a case of the intrusive thoughts, Manji. It's the intrusive girlfriends that I'm having trouble with. Right. So, what kind of intertheoretic relation is this? So this is probably to do with the idea that other bits of philosophy other bits of the world can be explained in terms of physics. So, like, you can explain chemistry in terms of physics, biology in terms of physics, which you can't do, by the way. But it doesn't surprise me that philosophers have tried. This is a big part of like how philosophy works as a discipline, is projecting onto various subjects the idea that, you know, you can explain them in terms of basic physics. I know a lot about philosophy. I don't have to like that fact. I know a lot about a lot of things that I nevertheless don't like. This, though, I care about. Because what philosophers want to do is establish a hierarchy of knowledge, right? There's some highest form of knowledge, ideally philosophical knowledge. This goes all the way back to Plato and the Philosopher King. I don't know about using it for good, but maybe to overcome evil, we can hope. That's certainly true, Manji. That's certainly true. But a critical part of asserting a hierarchy of knowledge is saying, okay, we can explain all your knowledge in terms of our knowledge. You know, you can explain all of human behavior in terms of psychology and sociology. You can explain all of psychology and sociology in terms of biology, etc. Yeah, it's a con, Daz. It's absolutely a con, and it's. You want me to contain Lexi in 5 minutes? Maybe. 1 second. Because this is an important point. That hierarchy of knowledge is actually, like... So, in the early 20th century, Bertrand Russell and Alfred North Whitehead specifically tried to explain all of maths with logic as part of asserting that maths and philosophy were basically the same thing and were the foundational form of knowledge. Fortunately, they failed. For 2 reasons. One is Russell's paradox, which is you can't turn everything into set theory because you can't have a set that is the set of all sets that aren't members of themselves, because either it is or it isn't a member of itself, like Russell's paradox. And the other is Kurt Gödel came along and pointed out that the entire concept of theoretical reduction like this doesn't actually work at the fundamental level. Thank God for Gödel. Only logician that I really have a lot of respect for. But yeah, purpose of philosophy is to provide rationales for leadership in terms of a hierarchy of knowledge, and that's why I hate philosophy. That's the point I was trying to get out. 5-minute philosophy of Lexi. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. So, Lexi is extremely knowledgeable. A truly gifted writer. Like, I don't use that lightly, and I try to avoid using it in a way that might cause a sense of pressure, but Lexi is an incredible writer. I'm deeply jealous of her ability with words. She is unfailingly dedicated to, like, keeping me on the straight and narrow and making sure that I don't make stupid mistakes. I'd still make some stupid mistakes anyway because I'm very good at that, but yeah, Lexi's great. I don't really have, like, philosophical depth there. Slime girls are cool too. It's good when a girl is slime. I think I can finally take a breath. Where are we? How are we doing? So, a final thing that I want to mention is the VTuber who is the biggest single inspiration to me in terms of live 2D model design, and without whom I would absolutely not be a booktuber, is debuting her newest model live on Twitch, I think in about 10 minutes time. And so one of the reasons I've been racing so hard to get through all this stuff is so that I can go and watch that. And hopefully we can raid into that in just a second. But she's not live yet. Yeah. Oh, by the way, like, I didn't mention it. This BGM, if you've noticed that there's a bit of a hitch in it, that's because I only finished it like an hour and a half ago. So I normally stream video games where I can play the game with the BGM, right? With the game's own music. So I don't normally need to have a BGM of my own. What I used to do when I needed a BGM of my own was I used to have Scott Joplin piano rags that I'd recorded myself, which those are technically public domain, but unfortunately someone is copyright squatting them, so I can't use those anymore. I have a bunch of really nice recordings of Joplin piano rags, and I can't use them. And at about 2:30 this morning, as I was going to bed, I was like, wait, I'm going to have no BGM for this stream. So I didn't write the whole thing like this afternoon. I'm not quite that clever. But what I did was I dredged up an ancient MIDI that I made like 10, 12, must be closer to 12 years ago now. And I hastily wrote a bass line for it. And exported it not via an actual like recording software of any kind, but directly from the MIDI composer I was using, which is why there's a hitch at the end of the track, because I couldn't get it all to sync up correctly. Also, philosophers don't take hints, Momo. That's never going to happen. Like, philosophers have been insisting that mathematics describes the world for 2,500 years. We are never going to change. This is why we should just like stop having philosophy. No, we should stop having institutionalized academic philosophy. I should be clear about that one. There's a difference between academic institutional philosophy and like philosophy that exists in the world. And like you do philosophy every time you like offer reasons for anything you do or anything you want to do. Biology is absolutely about describing the world. This is why it doesn't reduce to maths. So a philosopher would say, well, biology reduces to physics, which reduces to maths, and that's just not true. Oh, Momo, that's a murder. Well done. Top marks. Good girl. My throat is also going. Like, I woke up with a crabby throat this morning. Fortunately, it's held on long enough for me to do all the talking that I wanted to do. But I think I'm out of things to say. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate you all, like, coming, joining, chatting, and following, and hanging out and listening to me talk shit about shit for an hour. I am not streaming on my channel tomorrow. I'm on... I forget whether it's going to be on Enit or Rue's channel, but I'll tweet about it. I'm going to be on Tub Time with them tomorrow, kind of chatting, probably doing some post-mortem on this process. Except there's no post-mortem, of course, because death is life, so I'll still be alive. I am back on this channel on Friday. It's Friday today. I don't know what day it is. A student on Tuesday sent me an email asking for a meeting. I was like, yeah, let's meet next Monday, because I thought on Tuesday I was convinced on Tuesday that it was Thursday. I was like, I don't want to schedule a meeting for tomorrow. Like, one day's notice isn't enough. So I said Monday, and then it was like, oh, it's Tuesday. That's 6 days away. So sorry to that student. I have done good philosophy in Britain, Momo. I've hugged trees. That's good philosophy. You can do that in Britain. Also, Daz, I am absolutely going outside tomorrow for a long walk, because I haven't left the house in a couple of days. I try really hard to get out at least for a quick walk every day. It just hasn't been possible while I've been finishing this up. But yes, that's going to do it for me for today. Thank you very much, everyone. Happy birthday to me. I would love to go out. I've all the thunderstorms that have happened lately, I haven't been able to go out in. Just they've happened at times where I wasn't. I caught the very beginning of one. I'm gonna go for a walk in a big thunderstorm, and be loved by the rain. Thank you, Lexi. See you all again soon, I hope. Goodbye, and may those who oppress you learn shame. Honk. Honk.